At 3:33 a.m., the only thing more startling than a sudden noise is the violent vibration of a phone tucked beneath your pillow. The glow from the screen cuts through the darkness of the bedroom. You find a message from an unknown number. It isn't a typical prank, it's a specific command. Don't look outside your window. This interaction exploits a curiosity gap. When the brain receives provocative information without context, it creates mental friction. To resolve this, it routes directly into an investigation loop. By replying, "Who is this?" your engagement confirms the loop is active. This reply serves as a digital ping. It provides the sender with the only data they need. The target is awake, they are responsive, and moving as predicted. Curiosity begins to override caution. You sit up in bed, your eyes drawn toward the slight movement of the curtains. A second message arrives, more aggressive than the first. "I said, don't look outside."
At this point, your cert rate spikes and your muscles lock in place. Then, the environment of the room fundamentally changes. The white noise of the fan, the hum of distant traffic, and the neighborhood sounds all cease. The room becomes unnaturally and entirely quiet. In this silence, the brain enters a state of hypervigilance. By stripping away all ambient sound, the environment forces your auditory senses to narrow their focus until you are perfectly primed to hear the next highly specific, unnatural sound, a soft tap on the glass. The initial text messages have effectively oriented your body away from the safety of the bed and toward the perimeter of the room. Against every survival instinct in your body, you slowly walk toward the window and pull back the heavy curtain. There is a man standing in the air outside the fourth-floor window. His smile is stretched wide, and his eyes remain fixed and unblinking. Suspending a 180-pound mass 40 feet above the ground requires an active counter to gravity. It demands an upward thrust vector precisely equal to a downward pull of 9.8 meters per second squared. When we consider the previous silence in the room, it suggests this lift is achieved through a precise control of atmospheric pressure, allowing for levitation without the roar of air displacement. Maintaining such a position requires a continuous, calculated manipulation of the local environment. This entity is a high-energy presence with a specific purpose. You fall backward to the floor, paralyzed by what you've seen. The phone vibrates again with 2 words. You looked. The next text, because now he can see you too, forces you to look back at the window. But the figure is gone. This sequence triggers cognitive overload. When the brain is forced to process an impossible external threat, it narrows its focus so sharply that it temporarily stops monitoring the environment immediately around you. You experience 1 second of relief before you hear it. Slow, steady breathing coming from inside the room. The real danger has already bypassed your perimeter. The figure outside served as a decoy. By saturating your visual cortex with an impossible sight, it forced you to turn your back on the interior of the room. You are currently staring at an empty window, while the slow sound of breathing begins directly behind you. The breach didn't require a broken window. It happened during the blind spot created when your attention was pulled elsewhere. Your phone screen lights up one last time with a final instruction. Don't turn around. Humans have a biological drive to face a threat approaching from the rear. However, turning to face this presence provides the entity with the exact proximity it needs to complete the encounter. The trap is now closed. Through a combination of digital bait and physical misdirection, the predator has positioned you exactly where you are most vulnerable. Surviving a 3:33 a.m. anomaly requires following a specific 3-step protocol designed to break the mechanics of the hunt. Protocol 1. Silence all devices. Do not read the messages or reply. Severing the digital connection denies the predator the ability to track your reactions or maintain psychological pressure. Protocol 2. Do not look at the anomaly. Observing the event establishes a 2-way vector, integrating your exact location into its influence. Protocol 3. Retreat to a solid wall to eliminate spatial blind spots. This denies the entity the chance to manifest behind you. Survival is an intellectual exercise. It is about recognizing the mechanics of the snare,
and refusing to provide the predator with the reactions it expects.